Hey everybody, welcome back to Point of View. I am Crystal Holliday.
Say Jamali.
And Shakayla.
Welcome, happy Sunday. So today we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about the conscience and compassion to begin with. Conscience is an inner feeling that tells you what type of actions, whether it's wrong or right, that you're doing. Also, compassion is sympathetic pity or concern of someone who is suffering or misfortune of others. Okay? I want to get right into it. The four congressmen that Trump, I'm going to say President Trump, I find it hard saying President Trump, but President Trump said for them to go back to their countries. Okay? His exact words: go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested place from which they came from. Now, that was a racist tweet that he said he's not sorry for. This is where your conscience come in at. What conscience do he have? Your conscience should tell you that was a wrong statement, yet he says this was totally right. What y'all think about that?
Sorry, I just spoke the word. I think that Trump is just up to his usual BS. I think that it's funny, like the polarity that he's showing. Like on one hand, he's like, "Oh, y'all need to go back to your country," and y'all got to remember, like voting is about to come out. It's about to be 2020, so he's up for re-election. So on one hand, he's like gung ho for the white supremacist vote. And then on the opposite hand, he's been trying to do his part to get A$AP Rocky out of jail, saying it means a lot to the African American community. I really think it's just a ploy on both sides to rally people up to get votes. He's doing what he's good at, sticking to what he knows, staying in his lane with this one. It's disgusting. I think he meant it, but I also think that he's being more bold about what he's saying because it's time for re-election, so he needs to get those votes.
But he was the same person that during the election, he said America was bad. He wasn't happy about America. He was saying China was doing better than we were. But yeah, nobody told him to go back to where he came from. What you think about this whole situation, Shakayla?
You said at first you talking about consciousness, right? And I think I agree. That's like an inner thing that's telling you right and wrong. So obviously he's not using that. I think him saying it, like Sage said, it's just a tactic. It's always something to rile people up, to get people talking. Because honestly, now everybody does that. They say something that makes the public just talk about it. And I think this is just another classical Trump. People really, they say, oh, I don't like this. Well, I would say Caucasian people or whatever you want to call it. They say, oh, I don't like this and he's racist and all this. But really, I don't think that they just want to sound good. They just want to jump on a bandwagon because I feel like they think the same way that he does most of the time.
You're right. Now, it was just so many people that were chanting at a rally, go back home, go back home. These people, all of these people see the same way he sees. And I don't understand how nobody have a conscience. Nobody know right from wrong when it comes down to Trump and how he feels.
I feel like
well, not nobody.
In general, when we're talking about white supremacy, being honest and being open and just stating the facts, they Columbus this country. They stole this country, so in their mind, like, they own it. Whether it's by birthright or whether it's stolen, they believe that this is their country and they get to dictate who can come and go. It's sick and disgusting when you really think about it, because unless you're of Native American, if you're of that ancestry, then this isn't your country and you shouldn't be able to tell who can and can't go. But I believe, and by what they've shown and what they've said, that they truly believe that they own this land and this is theirs to dictate, and they're just moving off of that premise.
It's something how Trump said he doesn't have a racist bone in his body. But yet, we're going to go into Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire, his house was raided and he was locked up. And you wonder how has he gotten through this so many years? Because this is not the first time that he was locked up before this. It's the powerful people that he knows. He knows Trump. He knows the labor secretary that resigned recently. And when he resigned, this is what Trump said. He was a good person. He was Hispanic. That's the first thing come out of his mouth. He was Hispanic. And I'm like, but, I just say this to say, it's a shame that if you have money and you know the right people, you can pretty much get away with anything because his attorneys want him to actually have house arrest.
What did he do?
For what he did. Trafficking of young children. Mm-hmm. That's what I meant to say. Trafficking of young children. This is his second offense. Mm-hmm. The first offense was, I think, back in 2002. All he got was 13 months. And during the 13 months, he was able to go to work six days out of the week. 6 days out of the week. And you see how they railroaded Bill Cosby? They didn't even want him to have no house arrest. By the way, they actually lived across the street from each other. Him and Bill Cosby.
That's interesting.
But, what y'all think about that?
We all know, if you're interested in the topic, you should read a book. It's called Dog Whistle Politics. It talks all about how people in this country who have money get away with all types of things. And there's another book. It's called With Liberty and Justice for Some. Actually, that's the book that I was thinking about in the first place. But anyway, I really think that whether you're black, white, Hispanic, I don't care what you are. If you are out here trafficking or victimizing children, you deserve what's coming to you. I don't care if you're the best of them or the least of them. You deserve what's coming to you. We all know that if you have money, you're going to be able to get away with, like you said, almost anything. And court is all about what you can prove. So it's like, if I have $1 billion, there's 1 billion people I can pay to assist me with these crimes so that they can never prove that I was directly involved in it. Mm-hmm. I think it's disgusting. I think he deserves to be in jail, in general population, in jail. And I'll just leave it at that.
And this is my last thing on this. You can be black or of color and have a lot of money, like Bill Cosby, even R. Kelly, they had money. But they want to see them pay. And the things that, and I'm not saying that they didn't deserve it, but the things that Bill did was years and years and years ago. This Jeffrey Epstein, his is more recent. 2002, now, and they still trying to give him a slap on the wrist, and let's just tell him he did wrong, and let's let him go. It depends on what color and how much money you have. Sure, money will give you privileges, but your color will give you privileges too.
Of course.
So.
Well, I'm not really too keen on all the things about it, but what I hear is, to me, the sad part is we talking about human trafficking here. Right. And when it comes to Trump, to me, it's just he's a representation of just the state that we are in America. He's That's very right. ignorant, but a lot of people feel like that. And even like you said, they make examples out of who they want to make examples out of. But when it comes to human trafficking, the fact that they could have took this opportunity and shed more light on it and really had him, pay. But that's a really serious thing that United States we're going through is human trafficking, and I don't think enough people are talking about it. So it just goes to show an example of how there's nothing done about it.
There's nothing done about it at all. And even with Donald Trump, he says that he didn't know Jeffrey Epstein at all. Oh, but yet, they have the footage of him partying with this man, with all of these young women, you know.
And seen slapping the girl on the bus.
Yes, and which leads me, like, Donald loved young women. He loved, I'm calling them like first name basis, right? But he loved young women. It wouldn't surprise me if he knew exactly what was going on. Even though Bill Clinton said he didn't know anything. But yet they flew together, you know, to different places. So yeah, human trafficking is, I feel sorry for the young women that are affected by it. And then nobody believing them. That's a topic on its own. Nobody's believing them. You know, this is really something. So what is your topic, Sage?
Okay, so this is like a perfect transition. So basically, my topic is in relation to R. Kelly and his most recent charges that were brought up on him. I'm going to read this directly out of an article from Rolling Stone. It says the new indictment by the Northern District of Illinois contains 13 charges, including sex crimes, child pornography, enticement of a minor, and obstruction of justice. And that came originally from the Chicago Sun-Times. And then federal prosecutors in Brooklyn, so we have some charges in Chicago, some charges in Brooklyn. New York also filed a separate indictment against Kelly with 5 additional charges, including 1 count of racketeering and 4 counts of violation of the Mann Act, coincidentally my last name, M-A-N-N Act, which prohibits transporting people over state lines for the purpose of prostitution. What do you guys think about that? Think these new charges are going to stick?
Lord. It's just hard.
New charges stick?
Well, you know they're going to make sure they stick. Because that's R. Kelly. And they want to railroad him. Well, I ain't going to say they want to railroad him because he did wrong. He did wrong. And he should pay for whatever he has done wrong. But they're really coming down on him.
Don't you think
If this is
Yeah,
true,
he deserves it. He surely deserves it. But I mean, when I look at the difference between Jeffrey Epstein and then R. Kelly, I mean, they're really going after R. Kelly where they sweeping the things under the rug for Epstein.
Who was Epstein to you before his name was mentioned in the public eye?
Just friends of the rich.
Exactly. He was nobody.
Friends
so
of the rich.
It's not as much of a need to like railroad him. It's like if Cardi B does something versus if I do something, I can do the same thing Cardi B does. Nobody's gonna care if I do it.
Well, you're right.
When I think about the charges and all of that with R. Kelly, it's a lot of feelings, and I know a lot of people would struggle with. They always say, "Oh, well, will I still support him musically, or this or that, or they just doing this because he's black and all of this." I just, for a second, want us to separate like just the man from who we grew up with and stuff, because I think that kind of gets in the way of just the black and white thing, which is he was wrong for what he was doing. Mm-hmm. And I just wish that it was more representation for us men and music and stuff like that, because I feel like we kind of feel like we have to defend him on a certain point because we're so used to being judged as a whole. One black man or one black woman does something now, it's all black people, and it's because they're black. And so, but I just want it to kind of change to where if a black person does something, one black person, that doesn't mean that all black people are like this, or all black. You know, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but the man is still wrong for what he did.
Yes.
And that's just, I just want the women and the girls to get justice for it, for whatever's been done to them.
And make no mistake, I feel like if you're black, if you're white, if you're Korean, if you do wrong, you should get the punishment for it. It shouldn't be if they this color, they get this punishment. It shouldn't be separate punishments depending on what nationality you are. That's how I feel. You know, if I go and steal something and I get 10 years, the next person that steals something should get 10 years as well. You know, that's how I feel about the situation.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like they all parties involved deserve punishment. Nobody deserves to like get off for this. I feel like everybody involved.
That's right.
Exactly.
No matter what, how much money you have, if you broke, if you rich, a billionaire, you still should get the same punishment.
So, since we're talking about, I guess, punishment, y'all, I've been having, like, all week I've been hearing a lot on this topic of punishment or discipline with kids. I was looking at this interview with Tia. She has a new Netflix show. Just to a side note, she got a new Netflix show. And I think it's called Family Reunion. And in her interview, she's a twin. So, they always group twins together. But they were talking about parenting skills. And Tamara, which is her sister, she, spanks her kid as discipline. And Tia, she said she doesn't do that at all. And she said when it comes to spanking the kids, she said it's more about the adult. It's more about a reflection of you and your lack of patience or your lack of knowing how to, level with the kid and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's called point of view, and I like this because it forces me to have like an opinion. But since I'm a new parent, my point of view is kind of changing because before I had children, I was like, yeah, it's a tribe, which I still believe we are a tribe, and you should have a good tribe raising a kid. And if they bad, the aunt can spank them, this person can spank them, whatever, and because they need to be disciplined. But now that I have one, I'm like, no, if you hit my child, I might have a problem with that. And I'm not saying I wouldn't spank my own kid because when I was growing up, I've got discipline in different ways depending on what I did. But I never was affected badly by being spanked or whatever, because that's what Tia's point was too.
Mm-hmm. I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked.
That, and I had a conversation with a friend, and the mom and the aunt, like the sister, was having an argument because the sister was saying, well, you know what? I'm going to spank your kids if I feel like they're out of line. And you need to learn how to discipline your...
All I say is train a child at a young age. But I thank y'all for tuning in to Point of View. Please tune in every Sunday. We're going to upload different topics. Leave thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Again, I am Crystal Holliday.
Sage Molly.
Ashley Kaylee.
And thank you for tuning in once again. And as always, I say, be blessed.